Hello everyone, I'm Adrian,
I am Gülhiz.
and this is Almost Balanced, a podcast about navigating life without pretending we have it all figured out.
Here we explore different themes, experiences, and questions, sometimes messy, sometimes mindful, but always honest.
And we want to invite you to join the conversation, reflect with us, and find your own version of balance along the way. Hello everyone, how are you?
Yeah, how are you? I hope you are all good. And Adrian, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I am now settling down a bit after these holidays, and yeah, I'm now in France. I know you are back in Stockholm, in Turkey. How does it feels to be there again?
It feels good. Like I was in Turkey for 2 weeks. It's nice to be back home, like adjusting into my life again. So,
You call home Stockholm.
exactly.
Oh,
Now
okay.
my home is Stockholm. It's a good
Yeah.
question, actually. Yeah, I am calling Stockholm home. Now it's been 4 years, so I am building life. And also, it is a bit confusing to be back for 2 weeks spending time with family. And maybe we can talk about this confusion, like the feeling of belongingness. So, you're also
Yeah.
in France now, right?
Yeah, we can talk about this because although I am still young, I'm 22, I studied abroad from my hometown, then I went to Stockholm. Now I'm friends with my partner, so I don't know. I'm it's still my home. It's Spain and the city that I grew up. So that's confusing to me because now you are calling home Stockholm. I refer home to the city that I was born. So yeah, it's I don't know. How do you feel like now your home is Stockholm and all your family and friends are in Turkey?
Yeah, like when I was living in Turkey, I lived in Istanbul by myself, but I am from Izmir. I was living in like student house, dormitory, or a house when I was working there. Still, like it was hard to call it home because like I am in Izmir, I have my childhood room and I can just travel so quickly. But here now, I got married, like I am building something together with my partner. So it feels like home. I think this like relationship and living together and calling it home
Yeah.
together makes it feel like now this is my life and this is my parents' life kind of separation. I don't know
And do
if
you feel like home in Turkey?
I do. I
We have
totally do.
multiple.
And this is the confusion actually because I felt like really home in Turkey for 2 weeks when I was with my family and I was back. I missed Stockholm. Now I feel home totally here. It's a bit confusing for me. I don't know. So because also I think it is good to talk about social norms, cultural differences, where do we really belong, and also like you were in Stockholm for
Yeah,
three
3 months.
months? Exactly. Like, how did it feel to be here for 3 months, for example? So it is hard, it is short period of time to call it home or impossible. But what did you miss? Did you miss France or Spain?
Yeah, of course, Stockholm is not my home. It was like a short period of time of my life, and I knew it. I knew it that it would pass away, but in that moment I had to adapt. And actually, I first went out from my home at 17. I went to study abroad, another city. I lived by my own with other people. And in that moment, I start realizing the things that I had in my hometown and the family and friends. But I was studying for 4 years, so I got kind of used to. But when I went to Stockholm for these 3 months, I really felt the belongingness in my hometown. And I really missed my family and friends. And it's good. I mean, it's sad in the moment, but it's good because you learn to value these things. So, yeah, of course, my home by now is in Spain, my hometown. So, yeah, and I had notes here that maybe belong is not always a place, can be a person or a routine. So, Yeah, and we can talk about the different versions because I feel I have multiple versions depending on where am I. So,
Yeah, I think it is
so
great that people matter, like where you miss people you want to spend time with. And I think this feeling of like missing someone, like a magnet, you want to be there to recharge yourself, kinda. I agree. And what do you think? Like, what is your home? How would you describe home as a word?
yeah, it's a kind of difficult question.
Yeah.
For me, home, it's like where by now, where I have most of my loved ones, and when I feel more free, could say, and more calm. So when I go back home to Spain, I feel kind of like a child again because I'm surrounded by my family. And when I go there, I go to my parents' house. So I feel again that like warmth of the family. It would change if I move from my parents' house to another house, even in the same city. That would be different. But yeah, by now I'm just working remotely and I'm traveling in this era of my life. So yeah, now I'm like trying to discover what I want to do or where I want to go. Yeah,
We should
that's
have another episode for this actually. It is
yeah,
like maybe
the
like
future.
exactly like you are
Yeah.
creating your future, discovering yourself.
Now
So
you've been 4 years, right, in Stockholm,
yes, it's been 4 years here, more than 4 years. It's been
and
challenging of yeah.
you see yourself like aging there and like, I don't know,
I
having
do.
children or buying a house or
Yeah,
the rest
I
of your
do.
life.
Exactly. Like I think my motivation is building life with my partner, building family with my partner, of course. So it makes me motivated to age here, how to say like deepen my roots here.
Yeah.
But also I want to really carry my Turkish cultural features, my personality. So there are some differences.
And how do you think your life will be if you haven't met your partner or if you had a partner in Turkey?
Mhm.
It's your like, are you in Stockholm? Of course, because your partner, and it's like the most important thing. But how would it be your life if you haven't met him?
Good question.
I mean, you don't know it, but do you think you were still in Stockholm?
I don't think so because I moved to Stockholm for a job and then I got laid off. I started working at somewhere else. Like it has been a little bit challenging after a while. So if I didn't have him, I wouldn't stay here, I would say. I would go back to Turkey, but I don't regret. So it is a question, actually, it's a deep one because
Yeah.
also I don't know some answers. I love my life here. And for example, when I was back to Turkey, it was great, like spending time with family, hugging people, kissing people, sharing too much, being too much, feeling like myself 100%. So it was amazing. But also, there are some other things that changed in me during this time, and I don't want to go back to them. So it is hard to explain this, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I get it.
Yeah,
You develop another version of yourself when you go abroad and when you are away from your hometown. And I think it's good, this thing that you mentioned about when you go back home, you like feel it's normal to be maybe extra with you
yeah,
hug a lot and you are super happy. But if you lived there, it will be like normal and you wouldn't value
that's
the
right.
yeah, the thing. So I think it's good to, I don't know, go back and see like the enthusiasm and everything. So yeah.
And how long are you gonna stay in France? So are you planning to stay long term or are you gonna
No,
travel?
this is completely temporary
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, also my partner's life is changing with this is for job, but I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do. When I was in Stockholm, I really wanted to start working, earn some money, and I was visualizing my life in Cantabria, like in my hometown again, this region in the north of Spain. Not with my, like in my parents' house, but I wanted to be independent, but in that city or in that region, because I felt this connection to our roots where you were born. I have traveled around Europe, and I realized that the region that I live in or where I'm from is the best and I like the most.
I love it.
The climate,
Hmm.
weather, I don't know, people, the lifestyle there, the sea. I live near the sea. I love it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm exploring and I think it's good to go abroad and explore because you have like a wider perspective of the world. And now you can choose like, okay, it's enough. I go back home or well, I like this. I can keep traveling and keep discovering. Maybe I find my person in one country or one city. I fall in love. You know, I think it's the more like the main reason that could make you stay in a place.
Yeah.
Maybe like find people, friends or partner, something.
It's like I think it will be also ideal for me, like if I lived in the same city with my family. But when I was younger, I just tried to move to Istanbul. It was bigger, like freedom after
How
18.
far is Istanbul from
It
your
is like it's not so far, like 50 minutes flight.
in?
Yeah. 50 or
Okay.
5 hours car journey. So when I listen, you don't know what you're gonna do, where you're gonna live. You are discovering and exploring yourself, which is a great thing. But for some people, it might be so like threatening. What's gonna happen?
The
Because many people want to
uncertain.
uncertainty. Exactly. That's the word. So how do you feel about it?
I don't know because I have like a very short contract. I'm always looking for new jobs and I don't know. I don't know. The main thing that I try to do is like the money, like have one job that I could do remotely. So that way I can explore more. But I do that because I'm like in this stage of my life that I want to explore. But I know that eventually I'm gonna get tired of it and I'm gonna like want to settle down. Maybe in 6 months, maybe in 2 years, I don't know. I really don't know. But I know it because I really like the routine and having like a place. I like being like from here to there, taking flights, but I also value the calmness and yeah, like being in the routine and having my place. So yeah, for example, here I cannot have a car and I would love to have a car. It's very different, the lives. And I also feel I'm very different, like the versions that I have inside of me. The version that I'm here, the version that I was in Stockholm, the version that I'm in my hometown. So yeah, that makes me wonder who am I? Like really who am I? So yeah, do you feel you're really different in Turkey and in Stockholm? Do you change a lot?
Yeah, like not so much, but yes, of course. Like here, I am trying to, I don't know. Like also, I'm working with expats and I'm just repeating this that just, embrace your part because I try to conform into social norms here and I realized that I was limiting myself, I was not being myself. But I am trying not to do that, so I don't feel like I am so different anymore. But of course, like it is a kind of reflection. And when you are in Turkey, when people are sharing, talking, like a little bit like more openness in place, then I can become more open. But if I talk to a person in Sweden, so if that person is a little bit like conservative when it comes to sharing a personal space, then I reflect the same and I just close myself a little bit. I think
Yeah.
this is how I adjust myself, but I don't feel like I am totally different. But
I
also
think
like yeah,
what you just say can be summarized like your environment really influence you and
yeah.
you need to adapt. So of course in Turkey if people are more open, you are gonna be more yeah, open. And in Sweden, if you try to talk but you are not getting any response, you are gonna eventually like adapt to that culture.
I don't mean that Swedish people don't, they are not friendly. So I live with a Swedish person, so I have a Swedish family here, and I love Swedish culture. But they are gonna understand also what I mean. And also, I think there is a language layer. When I speak Swedish, I am not that confident, so I am missing so many words, so I cannot put my personality out there. But if in Turkish I feel so comfortable, it's so easy for me to play with words. So do you also feel this language barrier when you speak in different languages? I think it is one of the
Yeah,
most important
of course.
dimensions.
Of course, it's a very important thing. You are born like in your native language, in your mother language, and you can express yourself like perfectly. You can find the words, you can express yourself, what you feel, what you want to say. And in English, and it happens to me all the time with this podcast, I cannot express myself because I cannot find the right words and I use the same words.
Yeah, me
But
too.
we're learning the language and it's completely fine. But I have to say that I'm really a shy person and I'm so shy in Spain. But when it comes to talking in English, like in another country, I feel more comfortable in some way and I feel more open to talk with people. I,
Why do you think
it's,
it's like
yeah,
that?
it's
I hear this for the first time in my life.
Yeah, I know because people often feel embarrassed talking in another language because they don't feel comfortable. But I don't know. I don't care because I really don't know that person. I don't know that culture. For example, if I'm in Spain and I go to a restaurant, I'm scared of like make a mistake. I don't know. Maybe I don't pronounce properly the word or I know the culture. But if I'm, for example, in Sweden and I go to a coffee shop and I order a coffee and I feel like a bad reaction kind of from the some people, I could say, okay, I don't know you, I don't know your culture, like it could be your personality. And you could say the same in Spain, but like it's my country, so I feel like I don't know, it's confusing. But yeah, of course, the language. I would love to express myself the same way that I do in Spanish, but of course, it takes time
Yeah.
to do.
And maybe to wrap up this session, do you want to recommend something because you have studied in different countries, you worked in different countries, now you are freelancer, you are exploring your way,
Yeah.
and maybe they would love to hear something from you.
Yeah, if you're like me, like solitary person, I don't mean lonely, but you enjoy your space and being alone, it's very different because I feel fine with a couple of friends. For example, I meet you at Stockholm and some other people at work, and I was fine, just fine, like meeting once a week or twice a week, and that's fine with me. But so this lifestyle, it's easier to me. But if you kind of need that social battery or recharge your values with other people, it's kind of difficult because you cannot really make deep friendships or relationships when you are constantly changing your environment. And it happens to me. I have some friends in my hometown that I kind of feel some distance from them. So yeah, it's difficult, but like we say here, you need to balance everything in your life.
That's right. That's right. And I am the opposite. I get energized by talking to people, hanging out with people. Even if I love my space, I need to recharge in my own space, but also I need people to feel energized. So I'm trying to organize my social meetings to recharge myself, and I'm trying to be in touch with people. It's made my life easier in Stockholm, and I talk to other expats, so it's easy to approach someone and just start the first conversation. But it is still like important to remember yourself that you need space. You don't need to connect with people all the time. If you are like our listeners, like my type of personality,
Yeah,
so it is good to really like try to balance your energy, like connecting with people and then being back. So what's happening, what's changing in my life, and being aligned in ourselves, I can say.
yeah,
Yeah, these are my favorite topics. I
Yeah,
love these topics.
yeah, I could talk more about this,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would love really to hear if you're listening to us something about this because I really like to listen to other perspectives and yeah, it's to get like a wider perspective of this topic because yeah, it's not only my version. There's a lot of versions out there.
Let us know if you live in another country, if you feel homesick. It is good to share.
Yeah, tips for that
Exactly.
homesickness.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Gulhis.
Thank you, Adrian. See you
See
next
you.
week.
See you next week.